It's an hour and 11 minutes.
My God.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it'll be...
And it's so off the rails. There's
It's
like no
this
continuity
this
to
is
it.
so off the rails.
I mean, welcome to GVSV.
Welcome back to GVSV. This is Alex and Carl. And this time we're going to be doing... Actually, we're just introducing something that we recorded much, much earlier. This is our... what we're titling Heartstopper Off the Rails podcast. Because do you remember this episode?
No.
I want to say this was like season 2, episode 6. And we had, I think this was just like early on a Saturday morning. I think we hadn't recorded in maybe like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And now I remember this. And we just kind of like we are just now starting the intro to an episode.
Yes.
And then we just had a conversation for like 40 fucking minutes.
We completely, actually, I think we got interrupted slightly. I think we just like something grabbed our attention, and then from there we just like forgot about the show and we just started riffing. We were just like, oh hey, like blah 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 blah.
That's why it's called Off the Rails.
That's why it's called Off the Rails. That's what inspired this entire like podcast series.
Yep.
So join us on this trip down memory lane. Everything that we say as far as leading into Heartstopper Season 2, Episode 6 obviously doesn't happen because we never get there. But enjoy us as we ramble while talking about Heartstopper and then talking about... I remember we talked about cars for a minute.
I have a thing for cars.
It's okay. He was teaching me about cars because I don't know anything about cars. So join this adventure. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Welcome to GVSV.
Welcome back to GVSV. This is Alex and Carl, and today we are going to be watching Heartstopper Season 3, Episode 6, Body. Before we get into the episode, I actually brought along a little bit of reading material that I'm not even halfway there. Like I've been lying. I'm such a...
Our reading material is so dissimilar.
Well, here's the thing. Like I wanted to read it because I wanted to know more about the characters.
Got it.
And I will say that, I mean, I don't think we've ever discussed this, but I'm an extremely slow reader.
Oh,
like,
I'm not.
So like reading things that are like novelizations drag out because I start losing track of like, I don't know, the scene. But like reading extremely slowly works in my favor when reading extremely technical information.
Okay.
Because I can sit there and I can just like, because there's no fluff. It's really just like fact. So like I literally just absorb it all because I'm just reading it so slowly.
My reading style is quicker than that.
Yeah.
But I find that over certain passages, I'll read it several times and then move on.
Okay.
No matter what I read. Now, what I will say, though, is when I do read non-leadership military history, you know, the fiction stuff.
Yeah.
Right? That some books will grab me and I'll lose track of time. I'll read the whole fucking thing in one sitting.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could, but that would take weeks.
I
understand. But there are 4 passages in here that I wanted to read to you simply because the last episode ended at the New Year's party.
Yeah.
And they're about to go into their spring semester.
Okay.
And that's the time frame that this entire book is taking place. Even though this was like the author's first book, this book like takes place during this time frame, like after Charlie was in the hospital, after New Year's, like this spring semester.
Okay.
So this first passage is really just kind of describing the schools. And the reason I bring it up is because I think it answers that question that we both had as far as like, why? There are 2 grammar schools in our town. Harvey Green Grammar School for the girls, also known as Higgs, as it is popularly known, and Truman Grammar School for boys. Both schools, however, accept all genders in year 12 and 13, the final years of school known countrywide as 6th form. So now that I'm in year 12, I have had to face a sudden influx of guys, boys at Higgs are on par with mythical creatures, and having an actual real boyfriend puts you at the head of your social hierarchy. But personally, thinking of talking too much about boy issues makes me want to shoot myself in the face.
Same.
Exactly. So yeah, apparently, and the thing is, like, the boy to girl ratio is like, it's on par to what I had in the military when I was in, where it was like one girl for every like 20 guys on the ship.
Okay.
So like, and the thing is that it's, you know, it's just, it puts these like, these guys just kind of like at this like sought after position where it's like, oh wait, you've got a guy in your group? Like, I want a guy in our group. Like, needless to say. Okay. This is the passage where Tori introduces, or like the author introduces Tori's parents.
Okay.
Eventually, I find I'll get up and head downstairs for a drink. Mom's in the kitchen on the computer. She's very much like me. If you think about it, she's in love with Microsoft Excel the way that I love Google Chrome. She asks me how my day was, but I just shrug and say it was fine because I'm fairly sure she doesn't care what my answer is. It's because we're so similar that we stop talking to each other so much. When we do talk, we either struggle to find things to say or we just get angry. So apparently we've reached the mutual agreement that there's really no point in trying anymore, and I'm not too bothered. My dad's quite chatty, even if everything he says is extraordinarily irrelevant to my life, but I've still got Charlie.
A love for Microsoft Excel. I'm pretty sure that should be somewhere on a checklist for some sort of mental illness.
I think we definitely work with people who are in love with Microsoft Excel.
I am not.
Next.
I am not in love with that program. It has its points, but it's overvalued.
It's overvalued.
It's an archaic way of displaying information.
True.
It's 2024.
True. But
spreadsheets are gone. 1975. Come on.
Yes. But it can be useful.
Can be.
Yes.
Can be.
I just think that it's utilized in the wrong way to gather and display information that was not meant for that platform.
100%.
I think that from like an accounting standpoint, as far as like keeping track of like numbers and objects, like, yes,
that's what it's meant for.
That's what it's meant for. But when people start shoehorning other things into that platform, it's like, no, this should be done in either Word or Publisher. Like, you guys are like, yes, I
agree.
Yes, we agree with it.
We agree.
So
there's better programs for everything else.
Exactly. Should I introduce Nick or Charlie first?
Hey, this is your portion of the show, my guy.
I'm giving you a choice.
Whichever one comes first on your tab.
Fine.
There we go. That's easy.
My brother, Charles Spring, is 15 years old and a year 11 at Truman Grammar. In my opinion, he is the nicest person in the history of the universe, and I know that nice is kind of a meaningless word, but that's what makes it so powerful. It's very hard to simply be a nice person because there are a lot of things that can get in the way. When he was little, he refused to throw out any of his possessions because to him, they were all special. Every baby book, every outgrown t-shirt, every useless board game. He kept them all in sky-high piles in his room because everything supposedly had some kind of meaning. When I asked about a particular item, he'd tell me how he found it at the beach or how it was a hand-me-down from our grandmother and how he bought it when he was 6 years old at the London Zoo. He got rid of a lot of stuff as we grew up, though, and things aren't quite as happy as they were back then. Charlie had a really difficult time over the past few months. He has an eating disorder and got pretty bad last summer. And he's had a couple of self-harm relapses too. But he spent a few weeks at a psychiatric ward, which sounded terrifying at first, but ended up really helping. He's in therapy now, and he's working on getting better. And he's still the same kid who has a lot of love to give.
Cool.
So, and that's Charlie Spring's introduction. Like
by Tori though.
By Tori, and unreliable narrator, blah blah blah. But like by the author as well. Like
but I get that. But you felt that.
Oh yeah.
Through the show, you felt that.
Exactly.
She has him on a particular pedestal.
Yes.
And not like a white knight pedestal. That's like not unrelatable, but like, when you put people on a pedestal and then they can't fall off, I think it's an appropriate pedestal.
Yeah.
For a sister to have her brother on, that they evidently have this fantastic relationship.
Yeah.
So.
And then this is my final passage. It's for Nick.
Okay.
So, Nick appears at first glance. Nicholas Nelson, a year 12 like me, looks exactly like the kind of scary lads you'd see crammed at the back of the school bus, ready to throw sandwiches at you. But in reality, Nick is actually the human embodiment of a golden retriever puppy. As well as being Truman's rugby captain and a genuinely lovely person, I can't really remember when Nick and Charlie became Nick and Charlie. But Nick has stuck with Charlie through all the hardest parts of his mental illness, so in my book, he is definitely all right. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Look at that.
But I've just thought that, like, seeing these other characters from Tori's perspective at this moment, which is really like what we're, where we're going into next.
Yeah.
It kicked us out.
I think you have to recast it.
Yeah. I was like, you're not doing anything with this.
What's that?
No, the iPad.
I don't watch TV.
No. I'm talking about the iPad.
Oh, the iPad.
The iPad, as in, like, you're not really watching this, so goodbye.
Yeah. Just so you know, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to cut this part out.
Yeah, obviously.
My camera, for some reason, went wide.
Wait, define wide.
Look at it. You can clearly see you in there. Easily.
That is a lot wider
than it should be, right?
Than it should be. And I'm still attached to the table.
Other way. There we go.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Back to where we're at.
Yeah.
All right.
So, aside from that, what do you remember from last episode?
Ugh. Again, freaking. Well, last episode was New Year's.
The Christmas/New Year's party.
And I had the misgiving of Charlie just up and leaving his sister there.
Yeah.
Still have that misgiving. That hasn't changed.
I understand that. But, like I said, I empathize with Charlie because I've been there with my own sister.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But, Charlie and Tori do not have the relationship you and your sister have. Fortunately for them, unfortunately for you and your sister.
I will say that when we were much younger, it was a lot closer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate. And you know that on a very personal level. So that's the perspective I've come from. And again, a very fortunate thing. I don't know where we go from here. I know that the last episode was super heavy. Super fucking heavy. God.
I will say that I'm sorry that it's been so emotionally draining, but I know that, and this is, I mean, I can cut this out if it's not appropriate, but these last couple months have been very cathartic for me.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I don't exist in a world where emotions are the leading things in my life.
Yes.
I pretty much know emotions exist.
Yeah.
All right. But your emotions don't matter. How you execute does.
Yeah.
Meaning that, I'm sad today. I can't do this. Bullshit.
I understand.
You're sad today, but you still have to execute.
No.
And there's a lot of people that lead with their emotions being the primary determiner of how they function through life. Doing this, I've had to flip.
Yes. And I think for me, my default state has unfortunately been to move past a lot of things within my life, I try to forget them.
Oh.
I try to, like I said, you put it in a box and you throw it away, and like that's it, it's gone. And half the time, the only reason I journal is just so that I can forget, so that I can as soon as I put it down on paper, it's no longer in my mind. And yeah, but the thing is that for me, having these discussions have been almost healing.
And that is an enormous value that I didn't expect when we went on this adventure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, understanding the value it has for you.
Yes.
Understanding the value it has for a good many in our audience.
Yeah.
Makes it purposeful.
Yeah.
Makes it important.
Yeah.
Regardless of how I function outside of here.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm sorry that it's so draining.
It is, but, just because it's tough doesn't mean you shy away from it.
Yeah.
Usually, when it's tough, that's
you
when
lean
you lean in. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. All right. So you see me at work. I have tough days. I'm still fucking there. There are plenty of days
Trust me.
where I don't want to show up to work.
No, I get that.
But I just want to lose myself in a video game or some shit.
I get that. But like, I know when the going gets tough, you lean in.
Yep.
Like, you hunker down and you plow through.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's one of the things that I admire about you the most. I mean, I've always looked up to you about that.
I mean, thank you. I think it's something that everybody can learn. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I will say that I have to do a lot to continue to do that.
Yeah.
All right. It's working out. It's meditation. It's sauna. It's jujitsu.
Yeah.
There is a lot that goes into
your balance.
My balance.
Yeah.
All right. Therapy doesn't work for me.
No, and that's fine. And it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And I've been through therapy, and there have been times where counseling has been better than therapy because all I really needed was a perspective from an outsider.
Yes.
All right. I helped that the last time I had counseling, that counselor was a Marine. So there was that relatability there.
Yeah.
You have that common bond, and okay, I could trust this person.
Or at least they have a better perspective of where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But outside of that, I mean, for me, it's exercise, it's meditation, sauna. I did not think sauna would be as healing.
Yes.
As it has been.
Yes.
But it's one of those things.
It helps you to sweat out toxins.
Not even that. It's learning to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. That's why I love jiu-jitsu so much.
Yeah.
And I really need to get back to being consistent at jiu-jitsu and telling people, fuck off, this is my time.
I understand.
And go do jiu-jitsu. I find, I didn't know it's counter to what I'm about to say. I find the most centering things are when I'm in the most uncentered positions.
Yes, but for you.
For me.
For you.
Right? So, like I said, getting comfortable in uncomfortable situations. All right? It is 120 degrees. You're sweating your ass off. All right? And part of you wants to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn hot. It's so damn uncomfortable. It's part of where I meditate.
Yes.
All right? To learn how to meditate in chaos.
Yes.
There have been times where I've felt panic in the sauna because it felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It felt almost claustrophobic.
Yes.
There have been times in jiu-jitsu where I've absolutely gotten claustrophobic. And I don't have claustrophobia.
No. I understand that.
But when somebody's crushing you and you can't get out, you start to panic. And what happens when you start to panic?
Oh.
It just gets worse.
No, of course.
So you have to slow down, even take a step back, and think your way through it.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly, on purpose,
challenging
putting yourself in these challenging situations, all right, you harden the mind. It was Seneca who did this.
Is it Seneca or is it Seneca?
Whomever.
Yeah.
You can pronounce it any way. But he believed in scheduled adversity. All right?
Yeah.
Where a wealthy man would live as a very poor man.
Yeah.
For months at a time.
Yes.
To harden his mind is, if I lost everything, is this the worst it can be?
Yeah.
Can I survive this? And if I can steel my mind and survive this, I'm not going to worry about losing everything. I'll be able to live that full life because the fear of losing everything is no longer there. Because I've lived that way.
Yes.
So that scheduled, adversity, the sleeping on the floor, which sometimes I do.
Yeah.
All right. The eating very, very basic foods.
Yeah.
Living a very, very basic life. Cold showers. Right. You start to strip away on purpose the comforts in life, and you say, is this the worst it can be? And you're able to survive through that and learn to survive through that. You're going to find yourself less panicked by the other things.
It's funny that you say that, because I remember when I went through boot camp, boot camp was boot camp.
Yeah.
But all it took was a change in my perspective to accept, not even accept, but to think like, well, what if this was it? What if this was like every day for the rest of my life? And then all of a sudden, little things started to just kind of shine through, where I was like, oh, look, like there's a bird in the sky. Or like, oh, look, like it's like it's springtime, like the trees are starting to bloom. Like there were all these like little things that started to overshadow the fact that like, oh, I'm running today, or I'm, getting grinded today, or I'm getting like, all of this, we have to march like, all day long, and we have to like learn our movements and like all of these things just kind of melted away when all of a sudden I changed my perspective, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, what if this was it?
Yep.
What if because I felt like, and this was something I felt I experienced for the majority of my time in the military. Every other person that I spoke to, all they could think about and all they could talk about and all they could hang on to was how much time they had left. Yeah. How many days do we have left? How many weeks do we have left? Like, what's the end of this deployment? What's the end of this, evolution? What's the end of... And the thing is, they are so focused on the future that they're completely devoid of the present.
They're a slave to it.
Exactly. And then...
And they feel like their life now has become enchained, a prison.
Yeah.
Because they're hanging the present on the future. That's not written.
Well, the problem is that even once they get to that moment, they won't be able to turn off that mindset.
No, of course, the future's always there.
The future's always there. So then
they're always going to be imprisoned by it.
Exactly. So then, like the rest of their lives is going to be guided by this whole, how long until I retire? How long until I like?
When I first got into speaking about mental health years and years and years ago, the first thing I focused on talking about was perspective shifting.
Yeah.
It's just what you were talking about. And one of the things I had mentioned is the use of language.
Okay.
All right. We all have a case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
All right. And we all, myself included, I have to go to work. I don't want to do this. But if you take have and you put get,
yeah,
I get to go to work. How many unemployed people are there right now in this country?
Hey,
a lot, a lot. Right?
I was employed for quite a while.
Right? And then not just unemployed, but underemployed. Right?
Yeah.
So the job that you don't want to go to is somebody else's dream job.
Yes, exactly.
With their dream salary.
And I'm okay. Truth be told, yeah, I am underemployed right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy.
And you can't buy that.
Exactly. And the thing is that the trade-off in monetary value has afforded me a quality of life that I have never had before. And
that's something real, right?
Yeah.
So when we're talking about, and we're going along on this podcast.
We will. Apparently, this is not Heartstopper anymore. It's a GVSV podcast.
Right. When you talk about compensation, and I talk to people about this a lot.
Yes.
When you talk about compensation, you either have to be overly monetarily compensated,
yes,
or you have to have some sort of equitable balance.
Yes.
All right. Where you're fairly compensated, but what you're really leveraging on is that you enjoy the place you work out. You enjoy the people you work with. You understand it, and you buy into the mission statement of the company you work for.
Yeah, no.
All these intangibles that you can't put a price on, right? If you just strip it away, the only way you reach that level of happiness is to be compensated by like a factor of 2.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? At least a factor.
Exactly. And that's the thing though. Like I thought that making a lot of money was going to make me happy, but when I was getting slaved for 80 hours a week, I didn't have time to spend that money.
Yeah.
Like I was miserable. I mean,
I think there's still a line of balance where, okay, you don't want me to work 80 hours a week, all right, I need to be paid X, where that X is so significant that this is like, it is what it is because I get X.
Well, the thing is that like once you get X, then you have the money to offset all the things that your time is otherwise less valuable towards. So it would be like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about meal prep. I'm just going to buy all my meals. I don't have to worry about like laundry. I'm just going to dry clean everything. Like all of these things that my time would otherwise be going towards, having enough money would effectively I'll just pay someone else to do that.
Yes.
And that's the thing though. Like only once you get to that point can you offset all of these other things that are,
I don't think people realize how big a gap that is.
Oh my God, yes.
All right.
Oh yeah.
That like I fucking hate it here to paycheck well into six figures.
Oh no, yeah.
Especially in the Northeast.
Yeah.
It's like 6 figures in the Northeast is really barely getting by.
I think it also depends on location, because I will say, like, we are so off the rails. This is really sidebar at this point.
Yeah.
But like when I was living in Syracuse,
Yeah.
like I was barely making more than I did in the Navy.
Yeah.
And then the guy that I was dating was making 5 times more than I was.
Yeah.
Which is, if he made that in this neighborhood, would barely be able to afford this place. Yeah. But over there was able to, like, huge,
but how long ago was that? How many years?
Oh, that was 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
No, I understand. Yeah. So, rate of inflation and every 10 years doubles. So, like, at this point, it would be the equivalent, well, should be, if not for the fact that, like, paid wages don't actually track with the rate of inflation, but, by a factor of 2. So, like, that would be like making $300,000 today.
It's kind of my point.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, right now, and not right now, but like 4 weeks ago, right? Chicken breasts are $3 a pound.
Oh.
Right?
Are they?
No, no, it's not that now. We're just before the election. We're not going to talk about that. All right? But
$2.99?
No. I said $3. At ShopRite, it was $3 a pound for chicken breast.
Yeah, now I'm questioning how much I'm paying at Costco.
See, this is what I found. Like Costco's not competitive with chicken.
No, because I think I'm still paying like that much.
$3?
No, it's probably like $1.99. I think it's like $1.99 per pound.
Okay, so $1.99 is about where it was. Oh, like 8 months ago.
Okay, yeah, I'm buying those like giant 6-packs.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's still at $1.99, you just start going back to Costco for it. Because for a while,
do you want some?
No.
I'm serious. Like I bought too many this last time. Like the freezer is like overflowing right now.
Yeah.
Like,
but for a while,
like I'm having trouble closing the freezer door.
For a while, all right. Costco and ShopRite were on par. If not, ShopRite was a little cheaper.
Okay.
And when it's on par, I'm not gonna make a separate run into Costco for some chicken.
Of course. Costco is a bear to fight through.
Yeah, for some.
For one item.
I've done it for one item.
I know.
Like ribs and some really nice meat. Sometimes I have there.
Yeah.
But by and large, my kids are grown, so I don't need.
By and large.
What?
No, that's a WALL-E reference. Did you ever watch WALL-E?
No. No.
It's oh my God. By and large. It was actually the name of the corporation that like destroyed the world.
Oh, really?
By and large, but it was really just like.
But you've never heard that term before, WALL-E?
I just assumed it came from WALL-E.
No.
Fine. We are so off the rails.
We're 30 minutes into a conversation, dude.
Most of this is going to hit the cutting room floor.
Yeah. I don't know that we even start this now. because we're 30 minutes in. We'll have to wrap this entire episode without talking.
Oh,
because of these guys. I mean, when I try, it's only 66 degrees in here.
Yeah.
All right. We're done with the podcast.
Hey guys, sorry about that.
Forgot you were there.
Listen,
some of this needs to make it in.
Oh no, I'll pull. Yeah, comedically, I'll pull as much in as I can. But like, it's
hi guys. We forgot you were there.
I mean, it's not like I've seen you all week.
Yeah, long time no see.
Long time no see.
Did I just fix your bumper yesterday?
You did.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you for that.
Of course, dude.
Oh my god, that was so stupid of me.
It's one of those most endearing things about you. And talk about Labrador Retriever energy sometimes.
I was distracted.
Anyway, so let's Heartstopper.
So, season 6, episode 3.
Season 3, episode 6.
Body.
It's
so funny because I feel like a lot of what we've been discussing right now is body centric, like emotional health, physical health, like eating, food.
We could go off the rails again. All right, but your mental health.
Yes,
I'm going to take heat for this. Your mental health and your physical health are inextricably linked.
Oh, of course.
I know you understand that.
Yes.
Some people find that offensive. I don't particularly care if they do, right? Because this is the truth.
Okay, as someone who has struggled with their mental health, I will say that over the last 3 years with you as my personal trainer has drastically helped me understand the value of getting enough exercise and eating correctly. Like all of those, sleeping adequately. Like all those 3 key things right there helped to balance me more than anything else. And the simple fact that you were calling me on it and tracking me and like telling me like, hey, you need to eat this much and you need to do this and you need to stop doing this. And like, there are certain things that I just never went back to where I was like, oh, you know what? Fine. Like,
Well, I mean, if you look at, again, we're off the rails, but if you look, a lot of, yes, what I do is like, yes, lift this, eat this. But the thing we focus on most is habit building.
Yes.
All right. And my style of training is all centered around habit building. Because eventually, I want you to be able to look at fitness and exercise as just part of who you are.
No, I understand.
Not this black cloud of things I have to do.
No, trust me.
Because I too, I deeply struggle with body dysmorphia. And I always have. I always
even when we were young.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Huh?
No, but you were you looked great when we were like in high school.
Okay, but I always thought I was the puny kid. I just like I don't realize how muscular I am until I get around people who don't exercise.
So was that because you were just that much smaller than, like, I guess the other athletes that you would like wrestle?
Alex, because we talk day in, day out about freaking inappropriate freaking body images for women, but nobody freaking talks about the fact that our heroes growing up were He-Man and G.I. Joe, were jacked to the freaking gills.
No, so like
growing up, He-Man, Tiger Cats,
no,
G.I. Joe, these body types are only attainable through steroids.
No, yes. But the thing is, as far as like that discussion taking place, it was not taking place at a public level.
It's still not taking place for men.
Okay, so the only reason I'm bringing this up is because there was a book that I read called Adonis Complex, where like it was all about that. Like it was all about the fact that like, here are these unattainable, like physical, these idealized versions that are being presented to young boys, and the majority of them will never achieve.
Now, I don't want to over-index on unachievable body types.
Yes.
Like the only way to achieve them is through chemical
yes
enhancement.
Yes.
I get that, All right. But what I don't want to peel back too far from, like this Adonis complex thing, it is from the fact that men need to be capable. All right. I'm going to get hate for this too. All right.
We're just living on the rails today.
On the fucking rails. Right? Humans need to be able to go up a flight of stairs without getting winded.
Yes.
All right. It's by no means is obesity an okay thing. I get that there's nuance to that, and I know that's a big blanket statement.
It's just, I mean, like there are some people that struggle that's outside of their control.
I get that.
Yeah.
100%. I get that there are people, and they are in the minority.
No, I understand that.
That have
I just
physical conditions that do not allow for their metabolism to work correctly.
Or, and I'm just speaking of this from like personal experience, because the medication they're on, it forces them to like just unable to lose that weight.
It was not unable. This is where I'm getting to it.
Yeah.
This is where people are going to hate me because the laws of thermodynamics don't change. The line
makes it increasingly difficult for them.
100%.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, I can't," yes, you can. It just gets more difficult.
Exactly.
All right. So there is a line of energy balance, and that line is different from person to person to person to person.
Sure.
Okay. But that line of energy balance exists.
Yes.
And I will say that line of energy balance for some people is totally
skewed,
not almost unachievable.
Okay.
To become athletic. But
yeah,
there's a difference between being athletic,
being healthy,
and being healthy.
Yeah.
All right.
No. I'm just thinking about like my family.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. And so when people say, "Oh, I have this," like when people say to me, "I have diabetes," and I ask them type 2 or type 1, and it's type 2, that's a lifestyle issue.
Yeah.
All right. When you have type 1 diabetes, genetic,
yeah,
you're stuck with that.
Yeah.
You didn't put anything into it to get it.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't diet and exercise your way out of it.
Yeah. I mean, like
type 2 is a lifestyle issue.
No, I understand that. I mean, like
and I've trained people out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say though, if you get too far into type 2, it gets really, really hard to get out because of, how your body reacts to insulin. Yeah. It becomes, but you can. No, you can. It's just, again, like you said before, when shit gets difficult, I lean into it.
Yes.
Okay. Some people are afraid to lean in out of fear of falling. 40 minutes.
This is a podcast.
I said this is a podcast.
This is a podcast. Oh God. Yeah, and the thing is that like, yeah, there are times in my life when actually there are many times in my life where I have given up rather than try.
Yeah.
And you know this.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
No, I've done it.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking perfect.
No, I never.
Well,
listen. I'm not.
Like people say all the time, "Oh, it's so easy for you to say." Is it? Is it? And do you know what I fucking struggle with just to go to the fucking gym in the morning?
Yes. No. And here's the thing: like, just because I look up to you doesn't mean that I also acknowledge the fact that you're human.
You're very human, unfortunately.
Sometimes it is your humanity that is.
I really wish sometimes I could just say off, like truly be off, other than the fucking hey, look, the Marine thing. Worry about that shit later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, let's. Should we just release this as a separate podcast?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think we should. Let's just go for it then at this point.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we could call it GVSV off of the rails. I mean, because we're just having a conversation.
We are.
And
at this point.
and it's probably because we've done nothing for the past couple months but react videos.
True. We need to.
And not that we need to,
No, but I mean, like like when we started this channel, I know that, and it's in our channel intro. Like we're sitting there and we're like, we want to do React videos and we want to do podcasts, and like, but the thing was that you could tell that like you kept saying podcast like over and over again, and I sat there and I was like, yeah, he really wants to do podcast.
Well, here's the thing, right? That conversation, 41 minutes of it so far, happened organically.
Yeah.
All right. That's what podcasts are.
No, I understand that. And I'm not.
And if you look at our friendship, all right, how often, like at the post, do you and I end up just talking for fucking hours?
Oh, yeah.
About shit. Right. So, kind of my fucking point is that we haven't had, since we spent so much time doing React videos, when was the last time you and I had a fucking chat? Just to BS.
No, this is it. This is the first time that I can think of weeks. Dude. At least weeks that we've like just sat and talked.
For real.
Because everything else has been around like, hey, you know, we need to get a 20 terabyte hard drive because we're running out of space on the computer. We need to like, you know, the cameras are overheating. Like every conversation that we have had has been business.
Yep.
Just like flat out.
What's the channel doing?
Well, yeah. Or business.
Or business. You know, it's so it's I think that especially once we get past Heartstopper, and I'm only saying this because we had to like kind of scrap our entire schedule to really catch up.
Yes.
And get into the Heartstopper thing.
I'm still trying to catch up.
I get that. Right. But I think that going forward, once, you know, season 3 is over, and they're talking about season 4, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, So here's the thing. The little that I've seen people discuss it in our comment section.
Yeah.
I have been reading the comments. I need to reply to a few of them. But I will say that like it seems that when season 1 came out on Netflix, it hit such a huge, like unexpected level of popularity.
Sure.
That Netflix instantly greenlit it for season 2 and season 3.
Okay.
They were like, "Oh, this is doing gangbusters. We need to just like push forward."
I have a question.
They haven't renewed it for a 4th season yet.
No. More important than being renewed, which is important.
Yeah.
Do they have source material for season 4?
Technically, yes, because that would take place in volume 6, which is currently being written and released.
Okay.
And also Nick and Charlie, which is the novella that takes place.
I love that you said novella. I love that you said novella.
It's a word.
No. I just don't expect it from you. All right. In very many ways, I had more of a Latin upbringing than you.
Oh no, yeah.
Right. So to hear you say novella, I was like, yes.
No, but
that's what it is.
But like,
it's a novella.
I know. I could have swore on like one of the books it says like a Heartstopper novella.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here. I'm like,
does it say novella?
Oh yeah, a Heartstopper novella.
Look at that.
That's exactly what it says.
Look at that. So sometimes, right? Because
I mean, and
the way
as a child, I remember my mom watching like telenovelas.
Yeah, my mom watched soap operas, and you know, sometimes the telenovelas would be.
I just realized that the media recorder is still recording.
Oh Jesus Christ! Well, again, this is a podcast. We'll call it Off the Rails.
No, I mean like we're not using it, but it. What? How many minutes are we in?
45.
Ooh, and the media recorder decided to like crap out on us.
That's fine. After we're done with this conversation, we could give this a 20-minute thing, and we just and we got it out of our system.
Got it out of our system. Actually, you know what? I really want you to explain like air pressure to me.
Air pressure?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Oh my God, we're really off the rails here.
So, that's why we're gonna call this podcast Off the Rails.
Okay, so being a nuclear operator,
yes,
I'm intimately familiar with the concept of pressure because the reactor vessel itself needed to be maintained at, I don't know if these numbers are considered like high pressures, over 1,000 PSI.
Yes.
And the thing is that, like, I understood the importance and the value of maintaining pressure in a water system to prevent the water from flashing to steam. Like, yes, those are concepts that I had drilled into my head 20 plus years ago, and I intimately understand.
Okay.
But every time you talk about like a pressure vessel on a plane,
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. So a pressurized aircraft is essentially a pressure vessel. All right. The cabin is pressurized.
Because the exterior of the plane is a vacuum.
No, not because it's a vacuum, because the pressure outside is less than.
Okay.
Right? So if we talk about 1 atmosphere at sea level,
yeah.
All right, we're talking about as you go up in elevation, those atmospheres, right? That pressure value.
1 ATM equals 1 PSI at sea level?
I think it's something like that. Don't quote me.
Okay.
All right. No. 1 ATM does not equal 1 PSI at sea level. I don't know the number.
Okay.
I just realized what you said.
I don't know.
I just realized what you said.
That was a question, not a statement.
I think an atmosphere is like something like 14 point something PSI.
No, here. We have the iPad here.
Yeah.
Pounds per square inch for anybody that doesn't know.
14.6. Somebody remember some shit.
Why, what was it? What did you?
I said, when I run back, I think it's like 14.2.
Okay.
Not fucking bad. All right. Anyway.
0.69.
14.7. Anyway. So at sea level, all right, 1 atmosphere is 14.7 PSI.
Yes.
All right. As you go up and the air gets thinner,
yes,
there's less air density. Okay. That pressure decreases.
Does it go below 0 PSI?
At vacuum. Which is in
outside
space.
outside the atmosphere.
Outside the atmosphere.
But I guess
so
the higher.
So since you have
I mean, I understand low Earth orbit, and I understand the atmosphere, pretty much pressure down on molecules, gravity. I understand those concepts.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand. Okay, so pressure outside the plane is less than sea level.
All right, so it's not pushing in on the cabin of the aircraft with the same amount of force that it would at sea level.
Does that mean that the
pressure inside is pushing out more than the pressure outside is pushing in at high altitude?
Where does it meet equilibrium?
It depends on the altitude.
Okay.
Okay.
Or
so
is that dependent on the structure of the vessel?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Okay. But at the same time, there's a minimum pressure of life. All right. So that's why airliners don't fly super duper high.
Wait, minimum pressure of life?
You get to a point where the pressure of your body pushes harder and we're talking about space now.
Yeah, so you're
space is so pressurized.
So in other words, your body would sublimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes go poof.
No, I mean your liquids would flash to gas. That's
what I said. And let me start just poof. But so when you're talking about a pressure vessel,
yes,
we've got so far from this.
So because you say it like I should know this thing.
You should. I feel like everybody should.
You feel like everybody should, but
this is like high school physics.
Oh, we never touched this in Dr. Verder's physics class.
Anyway, so
I mean, literally, okay. So we covered basic electricity. It was this is a resistor and this is an electron.
But that's this is not physics.
For our high school, it was.
Okay. So
and then they also touched base on optics. It was this is a lens, and these are light rays that go in, and then they refract, and they go in different directions.
Okay. So
we never talked about
So when you take your fountain pen,
yes,
which is an enclosed pressure vessel,
yes,
right? Because there's.
I mean, it's not. Is this a fountain pen?
No, it's not a fountain pen. Not at all. It's not a pressure vessel. Fountain pens have air pressure inside the cartridge.
Yeah, okay. So these are always leaking on me when I take them on planes.
Really?
Yeah.
So in an aircraft, the cabin pressurization pressurizes the cabin to meet the outside air pressure.
Okay.
Okay. It's why they, like, commercial airliners don't fly super high. Yeah. It's why the pilots of the SR-71, the U-2 spy plane, these military aircraft that fly super high.
Blackbird.
Yes, sir. Blackbird and U-2 spy plane. I don't know what it's called. They wear pressurized suits just like they were astronauts because the air atmosphere is so small.
You know, I know the SR-71.
Why?
X-Men. What? What?
Nothing.
Listen, just be glad that I know a combination of letters and numbers that actually means something.
How many years you spent in the Navy?
What?
How many years you spent in the Navy?
6.
Okay. I want to make sure.
But
right.
Below decks?
Yeah. Yes,
listen,
below decks.
Listen, we'll get into this conversation when we watch Top Gun, but like the officer corps, I mean, that's effectively like the bridge crew on the Enterprise. Me, I'm down in the basement and sitting in a little room doing nothing.
But anyway, so it's like why we can't ship an accumulator that's been pressurized with gas in an aircraft.
Because now all of a sudden you have that excessive internal pressure.
Right. And
especially in the cargo bay.
Is not pressurized.
Exactly. So now you have negative.
So all that gas now is going to
want to
push
come out. Yeah. Even more so. Even more so than at atmosphere.
And like the reason they ship with nitrogen versus whichever, like this one's, no,
this was nitrogen.
Okay. The reason that like refrigerants,
all
right, like refrigerating systems ship with nitrogen, because that is a less dense gas than refrigerant. Okay. So obviously, denser the gas, the harder it is for it to start to expand.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. DMV.
Yep. They don't know it, but
density equals mass over volume.
There you go. All right. But that's how that concept works.
Yeah.
So at sea level, at 1 atmosphere, things are pretty good to go. At 60,000 feet above sea level.
So what's pressure up there?
Next to nothing.
So like 0 psi?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
I
don't know.
Okay.
Like most military aircraft, right? They're flying below 50,000 feet. Okay. These folks have G suits on. They do have pressurized cabins, I believe. All right, and they have oxygen masks. So you have to have oxygen over like what 20,000, 25,000 feet.
Okay.
But when you're flying 60,000 feet and above, you need a pressurized suit.
Yeah,
like the astronauts.
Okay.
Like guys who fly the U-2 and the SR-71, which they don't have anymore, but supposedly. And that was your physics lesson for today.
Thank you. I don't know. Because this came up the other day and I sat there and I was like, I know pressure. I was like, we were dealing with like thousands of PSI, but like it's a completely different use case because we're trying to like keep the water inside the container and prevent it from like flashing to steam.
Yeah. But I mean, your laws of motion, equal and opposite, right?
Yeah.
So at sea level, if the pressure is 14.7, it's equal and opposite. It's an equalized pressure.
Yeah.
It stays the same, right? There's going to be no intrinsic damage to the containing vessel. Let's go up a little bit.
Or person.
Let's go up a little bit. Let's go up 60,000 feet.
Yeah.
14.7 might be way too much pressure for the walls of that pressure vessel to handle.
Yes.
Boom.
Exactly.
Now, if you
so they have to decrease the pressure inside the airplane.
Yes.
to
accommodate.
to prevent
it doesn't even have to be equalized,
but
right? It has to be within a certain tolerance.
Yes, to prevent the inside from pushing too hard outward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's reversed when we go below sea level.
Oh no, obviously,
as we saw with the submersible.
Yes.
Right. Not enough pressure on the inside, and it's time to crush cannon.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Right. And it's not so bad when you have these things happen over a period.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's when these things happen catastrophically that becomes a problem.
Yes.
All right. So say if you had a bleeder valve, right, which is just a one-way valve that allows pressure to escape. Okay. So say you had a
swing check?
Like a check valve.
Yeah. No. This is my own tangent. We had a system of ventilation that would blow air out of the ship from a contained compartment, and that those pipes, those ventilation ducts, would go out and then underneath the waterline. But the problem was that if the steam that was in there started to condense, all of a sudden you'd have seawater getting sucked up and back in. So periodically there would be these swing check valves that would allow air from random void spaces to go into these ventilation ducts to prevent the seawater from effectively getting sucked in.
Got you. The air that it was exhausting into seawater.
Yeah.
Where did that air originate?
From the inside of our steam generators.
Okay. Was it just pure steam that they were exhausting?
It was like phosphate chemistry.
Okay.
It was
so they're using the seawater as a scrubber.
Scrubber? Is it just like dumping?
No. Like some of the ideas of doing exactly that, where you dump these gases, which are largely inert, below the water line, is because when they interact with hydrogen and oxygen within the water, right, they get pulled apart and they're no longer toxic or troublesome. So using water as like a filter.
Yeah. I mean, I think they just needed to lower the level.
Got it.
That's fine. It was just certain chemicals needed to go into these systems to minimize corrosion.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. So we had an entire... So my field was broken up into 3 rates. Electronic technicians, electricians' mates, and mechanics. And the mechanics had this branch that came off of them, which were just pure chemists. And their jobs were to maintain and regulate all the chemistry in all the systems. So they would be taking samples all day and then running tests to see where levels...
Which I'd imagine is to make sure the systems aren't corroding from the inside out.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you can't see.
Yeah, so then they would have to adjust it and add more, and then, or if there was too much, then they would have to blow things. They'd have to blow it down to get rid of some excess, so they could
So on the aircraft, when we're doing what we call corrosion control, we take the one will go ahead and we'll sand off all the paint to get down to bare metal.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll get the corrosion out of there. Whether we just knock the corrosion out, right, or we thankfully just sand it down to bare metal. Surface corrosion is not a big deal. Is when you have the delamination of the layers, and metal has a grain to it.
Yeah.
And most aircraft are made out of aluminum. Aluminum doesn't have just surface rust.
Okay.
Right. It has an exfoliation where you see the different grains of the metal start to pop and separate.
Okay.
Right. Due to whatever corrosive environment they're exposed to. Marine aviation being exposed to salt water.
So the chemical reaction that's creating this corrosion is, I guess, disrupting the lattice structure of the aluminum?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So all metals are granular.
No, I mean, like I took a materials class.
Okay.
Like, I mean, we had to know metals for.
So you understand,
Yeah.
right? So if this was like a metal with my fingers being grains,
Yeah.
all right, it's not so much the corrosion to get up top that we worry about. The surface corrosion, that's
Yeah.
easy to get apart.
Yeah. Abrasion or whatever.
It is when the corrosion starts getting in between the different layers, the grains of the metals, they start to do this.
Yeah.
They start to expand.
Yeah.
And really exfoliate. That was a problem.
Yeah.
All right. So when they did that, they had to get a metal repair.
Okay.
All right. But once you did all the repair,
Yeah.
what's the first thing we put down on top of the bare metal? A zinc phosphate primer.
And that is to be
Anti-corrosive.
Anti-corrosive or a sacrificial. Okay.
It's a yellow paint.
Okay. No. But like, I was just wondering if.
No, it's not like a ship where you have those sacrificial blocks.
Yeah.
Not the same thing.
Okay. No, I mean like our sacrificial anodes were actually like inside of our systems.
Okay. No, this was to be a barrier.
Yeah.
All right. And it's weird, but we found, like, I headed up corrosion control for a little while, and where we found not a lot, because it wasn't a whole lot, all right? But sometimes in, like, the tail sections of helicopters, all right, you'll have, like, strut pieces ribbing going through the helicopter, right? And it'd be on these fine lines that are not exposed to the outside. There's inside the tail sections, where you just go in, and it's this tiny little rib, and it's just blotted out. And I'm there with the pick, like, that's going to the depot.
What a mess. No, I don't think. Yeah, no, we were concerned with corrosion as well.
I imagine most of the metals in your systems are stainless. No?
Define stainless. Like, I know
the alloy.
Listen, I remember like the chemical equations for our different like metals, but like
stainless steel.
No, I understand stainless steel, but like none of our stuff was steel. A lot of it was. Oh no. Oh, I'm thinking of like inside the vessel. Yeah, no, we had steel throughout the rest of the engineering space.
Yeah, I was saying like your ducting and whatnot.
Yeah. I was thinking about like all the materials that we had to learn for like inside.
No, not inside your workspaces or God forbid inside the reactor.
That's what I'm focused on. Is like this like, oh, this is hafnium, this is Inconel, this is like
no. And my bad for not being clear, but I meant for like a lot of your ducting. I'd imagine it's stainless.
No, the entire ship is stainless.
For real.
I mean, listen, I was sleeping on a stainless bunk. I was up, I was hitting my head on stainless angle irons. I was like,
I had the top bunk, so I didn't worry.
I had a top bunk too.
You were hitting your head?
Well, not in my bunk, but I definitely hit my head plenty of other places.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say I had a top bunk. And I'm short, so.
Oh, I loved. The fact that I could actually sit up in my bunk.
Yeah.
Whereas most other people couldn't.
Well, the fact that I could go on my side in my bunk.
Oh yeah.
Because like, I have wide shoulders. There was no way.
Yeah.
No way. There's no way to go on my side in a freaking coffin rack.
Oh yeah. Oh, coffin racks. I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
What, sleeping on the ship?
I love being on a ship.
Here's the thing, like.
But then again, when Marines on a ship, that means we're going to go do something.
Yeah, like the thing is, like even in port, if I didn't have BAH, I was stuck on the ship. Like the ship was, like, my happy place was leaving the ship.
Yeah.
Like even in port, because it was like, oh, I get to do life stuff.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be a thing,
Because like living, like physically living at work.
Yeah.
And
I didn't mind it.
No. I mean like.
But then again, I only did it for like 7 months. Total time on ship.
Yeah. I mean, most of us were on our ships for years. Like, I think the minimum rotation was like 5 years before you could even see a shore billet.
No shit?
Oh, yeah.
I think if I was in the Navy, I'd fucking just want to constantly be out to sea. But I'm a nutcase like that.
That's not even an option though, because it'd be like
I know.
it'd be like 6 months at sea, and then at least like 2 years in between, where it's like work downs, a year in the shipyards, work ups.
Oh, back. A year in the shipyard?
Depending on the level of your import availability and the...
So that ship's company stays with the ship even though it's in fucking dry dock?
Ship's company, not Air Wing. Air Wing, they live down in God knows where, but ship's company, all 3,000 of us, yes.
Thank God for the fucking wing.
Oh, no. Because the thing is that, like...
So ship's company would stay with a ship that's in dry dock for a year.
Yeah.
Oh, miss me with that.
Oh, yeah. No. I remember when we went into my first shipyard, period, the chief for my division, like, this was kind of like a welcome to the shipyard brief. Where he got, like, the entire division got together, and he's standing there in front of everyone, and, like, the first thing out of his mouth, he's like, "Welcome to the shipyards. This was the reason for my first 2 divorces."
Well, nice to meet you, Chief.
No, but I mean, like, he was a great guy. It was just, he was being honest with us.
When I got to the fleet,
Yeah.
after we checked in,
Yeah.
me and my 2 guys that came from the schoolhouse with me,
Yeah.
were told, "Boys, put your sea bags out there on the flight deck. We're on 24-hour alert to go to Kosovo."
Oof.
Me and my boys were like, "Yes, we have made it here in time.
Just in time.
Just in time to go do
Just in
shit."
time. Yeah.
So fucking excited.
Yeah.
So fucking excited to go do something.
Yeah.
As soon as we got there.
Could you imagine being stuck on that ship and doing nothing?
Fuck that.
Exactly.
It's one of the reasons I joined the Marine Corps, to go do shit. And I get
Exactly.
stuck on a ship doing fucking nothing.
Oh, no.
Like, I couldn't imagine.
Oh, no. No. They
We
had,
didn't go.
Oh,
We
no.
We
No,
got
no.
stood down.
But they had stuff for us to do.
I don't.
They,
Like, Army, they deployed to, like, overseas bases. That's where they're at for like 3 years. Me. No way. No way.
yeah.
All right. Navy, you guys are staying with the ship at the shipyard. Me. No way.
No. Trust
fucking
me.
way.
Like,
The Air Force, they
I mean, their bases were nice.
they're great. The Navy bases, great. All right. Army bases, kind of like Marine Corps bases, kind of suck. But I mean, I could not imagine just staying in one place for fucking years. Drive me fucking insane.
Well,
It's not why I joined the military.
no, of course not. But the thing is that, like, being in
Join
the shipyard.
Marine Corps to see new people, see new cultures, and kill them.
Yes,
Come
obviously.
on. Movie reference. Oh, that's right. You've never seen the movie.
Was this Full Metal Jacket?
Yes, Full Metal Jacket.
Okay. I saw like the first 15 minutes of it, just the boot camp scene.
It's just pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, we were fresh out of boot, and my friend was like, "You need to watch this," and I was like, "This is exactly what we just went through." Like,
No, it's not Navy boot camp.
it's not
exactly.
Navy boot camp, but I'm just saying, as far as just like, oh, hey, this is reminiscent of our lives for the last couple months. Like, anyways, needless to say, being in the shipyard, it's not that we did nothing. It's just that the things that they found for us to do were, if you heard the saying, paint it once for dust and twice for rust.
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay. Let's just say that most of our time was either spent cleaning or painting or hurrying up and waiting.
Hurry up and waiting. That and cleaning. I mean,
Yeah.
if you keep your squadron spaces clean, you don't have to go crazy. We did a good job of keeping our squadron spaces clean.
But this
There's
is
a
like,
line in it.
this is shining the reflector.
Oh.
Like, this is us sitting there with a can of Never Dull, shiny things that are already shiny.
Okay.
Because they just need...
I'm
what?
sure grunts can go ahead and associate with that. That's right. I said it, grunts. You're just about a land-based seaman. Fight me.
Okay. How do you want to wrap this up?
Because I don't know what's going to make it into this, or
Well,
we're
since this-
scrapping all of this. I mean, it's an hour and 11 minutes.
My God.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, it'll be...
And it's so off the rails. There's
It's-
like no
it's
continuity
this
to
is
it.
so off the rails.
I mean, it was a good conversation.
if you guys actually stuck through this entire video, we are so grateful for you because we have no idea. Like,
it started off, we were going to watch
Heartstopper season 3 episode,
and then we just got off the fucking rails.
6.
Yeah.
What?
You could put this out if you want. I think this was just for us.
You know what? This can be something that we save in the can and we release. This can be like our, yay, we hit like a milestone, and here's a gift for the audience that stuck it out.
Here's an enormous outtake.
Here is the longest outtake of our lives.
Longest outtake of history.
Oh my God, I wonder if
you know what? If we stuck to like a subject and didn't go so wildly off the rails.
Oh, I sat there
every freaking direction. We went from mental health to obesity to physics lessons in freaking pressure vessels.
Well, I took us on that tangent.
Yeah, all right, and then we went into the military and corrosion control, and
then dry dock.
And dry dock. This was for us. This was for us. This was an exercise in selfish conversation.
Exactly. So if this made it out there and you guys are watching this, we greatly appreciate it.
I apologize.
Don't apologize. I had a great time.
But again, this was for us.
This was for us.
This was for us. This was not planned.
This was not planned. So if this saw the light of day,
you got to see what it's like to hang out with us, because this is the conversations we have when we're not talking about business like we have since August.
Oh, before that, June.
Yeah,
like
this is the first.
No, but I mean,
when was the last time we got this to bullshit? Just the two of us. That has not centered.
It was before August.
Yes,
it was before. You know, it was
November 2nd.
It was when we were training and we were going for those hikes.
Yep,
and we were just like talking while we walked.
Yeah, and this is when we realized that podcast works because we have that chemistry.
Exactly.
So our podcast needs to be a little more organized than this, but I like it.
Yes,
I like it. Well, again, now we have an hour and 20 of content-ish.
Yes. So join us on this adventure.
Subscribe. Tell your friends and your family. Tell them how awesome your subscription is to GVSV Media. Yes. Tell us what you guys want, what's going to make your subscription
worth
it, what's valuable to you. We're open to all ideas. Obviously, ones that don't fit our brand, we won't do. But the things that do fit, things that we think are meaningful, impactful, entertaining, and funny, can't be just all serious.
I know.
We're open to doing.
Oh yeah, no. Like I don't want this channel to turn into how many times we can watch Alex cry. Like that's
no.
Like no. Like I will say,
I have like all these comedic ideas we've talked about.
We have. Listen, they're on a whiteboard right behind.
So I think that there's room for that.
Yeah.
I think a large part of our audience are gamers. We need to get to them.
Yes, of course.
All right. And I think on the Discord we could have like freaking play parties.
Yeah, no.
Where we all play the same game together. That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah.
All right. Get a Baldur's Gate 3 freaking group going. No?
Oh, no.
Yes.
I've never played it. I'm not even sure what it is.
So good.
We can do a separate video of like Alex first time playing blah, blah, blah.
If any of you guys play DCS and need to learn how to fly F-16, I'm here for you.
Flying lessons with Carl.
Fucking for real. It's how I decompress, because none of my decisions at that point have ramifications in the real world.
Of course. Blow shit up.
Blow shit up.
Well, join us on this adventure. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Bam. So glad the room was cold, because otherwise the cameras never would have lasted.